So yeah, I had planned a video on this, but suffice it to say that's not going to happen. It is just dreadful to act as kind of a warning, right? That like, you know what, even if you package things pretty well, sometimes it just doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just not worth shipping a thing because, my goodness, there's like nothing left. It just disintegrated. It really just depends on the plastic. You know, like I have things from the early 80s, and the plastic is like as rock solid now as it ever was. But I also have things from the late 90s that are as brittle as this. And you know, it's just, you barely do anything, and this kind of stuff is just terribly, terribly brittle. Like peanut brittle, but worse. It's so sad. To really drive the point home here, I'm sorry in advance, but it's just so easy to break this. It's terrible. Like I swear I've come across more durable chips than this. And honestly, the experience isn't that different breaking a Dorito versus breaking the Halican. I really can't blame the seller at all. And again, I've bought many things from them, no problem whatsoever, CRTs included. Well, anyway, maybe there are some serviceable parts in here, but look, this is not what I signed up for. Oh, goodness.
This is exactly why I don't get too excited about collecting older hardware. This was seriously hard to watch. This was a rare computer that got damaged in shipping. Now, I'm pretty sure it was the way it was packed because they put the power supply directly on top of the computer itself, and it kind of probably smashed it. I would have packed it differently as an eBay seller myself, because I sell on eBay. I would have packed the laptop in a separate box and put its own padding around it. Now, it might not have survived the trip because that plastic was super brittle. It probably would have been damaged either way, but the damage would have been minimized. But this thing was just shattered to crap. Now, this doesn't mean I don't collect any older hardware, but I don't collect anything from typically back in the 80s. Most of the stuff I have is actually 2000s stuff. Stuff that I typically remember. I mean, I remember stuff from the 90s, but the 2000s is when I went to high school and stuff. I love some computers from the 90s, but I just don't have them. I have stuff like this netbook right here. Now, this netbook needs some TLC. It doesn't have a hard drive in it, but it does power up. It does have a working battery too. So I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this machine, but I'd like to restore it back to operating. I've got this door somewhere too. It's probably in one of my post bins, but I'd love to restore this thing just because it's fun. Now, my pride and joy, of course, is the Latitude E6420. This is currently running Windows XP, but it was designed for Windows 7. And but I love Windows XP games, and this is what I use to play Windows XP. And I also have this HP Envy. This is a newer one. This is from like 2012, 2013. Actually, no, it's got to be newer than that. It's like 2014. This has a touch screen and everything. It doesn't have a battery in it because it was swelling. It still works. You just hook it up to power and it just works just fine. The last one I'm just going to show you is this Lenovo ThinkPad. What is it? I forgot what model it is. It's a T430. Now, this hinge right here is completely broken off, the standoffs and everything. I gotta fix that at some point. Computer runs great. It's got a dead battery, but as a matter of fact, I love this. This has a terabyte hard drive in it because I put it in there. I mean, so I do collect older hardware, but it's newer older hardware. I'd love to get into a couple systems from the 90s, but that's about what I collect. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, well, they collect these older systems to play the older games, and that is true. A lot of people do collect these systems to run older software and older games, but you can still do that on modern systems. I do it all the time. I mean, I use DOSBox for playing my favorite DOS games like, say, Tyrion 2000, Worms, stuff like that. It's really, really a great solution. And you could also play multiple generations of DOS games because DOSBox can slow itself down and speed itself up for those speed-sensitive games. So it's really a good all-around solution. Now, granted, there are some drawbacks, like some of the Sound Blaster emulation isn't perfect and stuff, but it's good enough to where I'm happy, at least. And for Windows games, most of them run on modern operating systems, like games like Diablo. This one's from '96. This one runs just fine on Windows 10 without modification, without anything like hacking it or anything like that. Now, granted, there's a direct draw wrapper that can work with this, that makes it run a little bit better, but you can just pop this in to a Windows 10 computer and it'll play just fine. And there's also a pretty nice source port for this one as well that I'll go over in another video, but this one plays just fine on modern Windows. Also, Need for Speed High Stakes right here. I've got the manual somewhere. I don't know exactly what the manual is for this, but I know it exists. I haven't had really a big issue running this on modern operating systems. Now, there are patches that make this run a lot easier, like there's a third-party patch for modern graphics cards and stuff. But you don't really need them. It does run on Windows 10, more or less. Bejeweled 2 love me some PopCap games. This one runs flawlessly on Windows 10. So does Chuzzle. Again, another PopCap classic. Love it. Runs just fine. Roller Coaster Tycoon. It runs fine as well. Now, of course, there are some outliers, like SimCity 2000. This has a Windows version, but it doesn't actually work on modern versions of Windows because it's a 16-bit Windows game. So, DOSBox to the rescue because there's a DOS version. So, ironically, the DOS version's what runs on modern systems. And I actually prefer the DOS version to the Windows version anyway, so that's a win for me. And games like, say, The Sims and The Sims 2, these don't run on modern operating systems either. And there's a reason for that. That is the DRM that they used. And that's precisely why I have the Latitude running Windows XP. Because games like The Sim that uses secure ROM for the DRM, which isn't supported in modern versions of Windows, work in Windows XP. Now, as you can see, I can play my older games on modern hardware. Some of them require modifications, some of them don't. But of course, I don't get that nostalgia of playing it on the older hardware. But to me, I like just to play the game. I don't really care about playing it on period accurate hardware and stuff, even though that is cool. I'd rather just play the game, and if I can play the game on the systems I already have, I don't really need the older hardware. I just don't. Now, I get why people love older hardware. I do like it myself, but older hardware just requires maintenance. It requires the space to store it, and you might get something damaged in shipping when you try to have it shipped across the country. And that's all I have, and I'll see you in the next video.